Mr. Moore's, Mr. Bud, they would call him, granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said, Pa, I used to go buy he had the first syrup mill. He said, I used to go buy my syrup for the year with Mr. Bud. And I said, well, I remember the sugar mill. I remember that because he died, I must have been 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
You know. And I'm going to be 80 come the 1st. So it's been a long time. And I had 5 brothers before him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was the, actually I was the 7th child because mother lost her 6th one.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah.
Family.
So I was, and then when they had that centennial a while back, that must have been what, maybe 10 years ago, something around there. They called me and asked me if I couldn't get them a snapshot. I said no. I mean, you know, my dad was in the middle of the family and there were 8 or 9 kids. And I remember the still, you know, the syrup mill. I remember it, but
not much of it.
well, I didn't have a picture.
Right.
I don't know if they had cameras in those days. I'm sure they did, but I wasn't, you know.
Wow.
But it's, I said, Lord have mercy.
Okay. For the interview, I need you to state your full name.
Viola.
And that's Roy.
And Moore Roy.
Okay.
My
And
married name is Roy.
And your maiden name is Moore?
Moore.
Okay. I like that you kept your maiden name, too.
Yeah.
And your parents' name?
Willie Moore and Eileen Maynard.
And where are your parents from?
Rain.
Rain. And your parents' occupations in Rain?
Rice farmer.
Rice farmer. And your mom was a stay-at-home mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, with 7 kids, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And your husband's name?
Walter Joseph Roy.
And do you have any children? No. And so you were born in Rain?
Yeah.
Okay. And raised in Rain.
And lived in Rain. Everybody left. I have 5 brothers and a sister. I'm the only one. That never moved away except for those 5 years my husband died, and I thought maybe I wanted to be in Lafayette. Now I wish I was in Lafayette.
Really?
Well, I had a condo, you know, and I didn't have to worry about anything. Now I do, you know, I mean.
Did you stay in Rain to be close to your parents?
I had marital problems, and I moved away because, and he wasn't from Rain, he was here.
Okay. Okay. As a child, what did you think you would be when you grew up? What was your childhood dream?
I don't think I had any. I really don't.
What was your occupation for the majority of your adult life?
I was a buyer for Birmingham
Oh, wow.
for, I want to say almost 30 years, if not more than that.
How did you like doing that?
I tell you what, from 54 to the 90s, figure that out. That's how long I worked at Birmingham.
Yeah. It's about 30 years.
how you're going to word it. I, the way I went to work at Mervyn Collins, I was working in the cleaners. We were 5 ladies that works in the cleaners. I was the one that go pick up the clothes and deliver them. I was in a panel truck. And Barney Foreman, I'm sure they've mentioned him to you because his wife was one of the, was a con. Had bought the cleaners, but it was too much because he had a big responsibility at Mervyn Collins. Anyway, he said, out of the 5 girls that worked for him, he says, you're the only one I can offer a job to. Mr. Jankow, which was the general manager of Mervyn Collins, I used to go pick his clothes up, you know, and deliver them. And he always had a joke to tell me. So he and I were good friends. And I had an appendix operation when Mr. Jankow got very sick. And he told Barney, he said, Barney told him, he said, well, he said, I'm going to sell it's too much for him. I'm going to sell the cleaners, you know. He says, try to get by, which was me. He said, I can fit her in. And I did. I was in lingerie. I accumulated lingerie and then piece goods. The buyer was old, so she retired, and at 5 to 5 on a Saturday afternoon, the switchboard operator called me. She said, "Bye, Mr. Jankow wants to see you in his office." And she says, "If you have a customer, turn it over to somebody else." I said, "Okay." I didn't know what it was. Well, the one that was supposed to go to New York, she was in her 60s. She was old, and she wasn't feeling well. He says, "Go home, talk it over with your husband," and he says, "Call me." He says, "You won't have to worry about anything." I said, "Don't worry about anything. I know how to do all of this stuff, you know. I can sell." He says, "You know what you like, huh?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "When you go shopping," he says, "what you buy?" I said, "I buy what I like." He said, "Well, that's what you're going to have to do." And that was on Saturday. He left. Then a week later, I flew to New York.
Wow.
And I did that for 15 years.
Wow. How exciting was that to go to New York?
It was.
To go
Especially
shopping.
for a small... Yeah, well, actually, that's what it was. I went shopping. It was for the store, but I went shopping.
And what, did you just buy lingerie, or did you buy everything for the store?
I went because of the piece goods.
What are the piece goods exactly?
Piece good is material,
Material. Okay.
you see. And it's to buying piece good, but then I came in Christmas time, all the different little gifts and whatnot. Well, I did that too. I'd go in and let's see what month it was. September. I would go in September. So I'd go 3 times a year to New York.
Wow. Where would you stay?
At in a hotel on the corner of 6th Avenue, and which was just a block from the big expensive hotels. I forget now what was the name of that hotel, but we always stayed at the same place. Now he, Mr. Jankow and his wife, Miss Murdis, which was a con, they lived next door in a hotel. Well, it wasn't a hotel, it was a house, but it was apartments. They would get an apartment. You know.
Okay. So they had like a permanent place there?
No, it wasn't permanent.
No.
That's where they always stayed, at the same hotel.
Oh, wow. And so this was the general manager and his wife?
And with the wife was, she
con.
was an Adler, but her mother was a con.
Did you learn your way around New York pretty well?
Yes.
Wow.
I sure did.
I love it. I went to New York one time, and I just had the best
There was
time.
one. She was a good friend of mine. You know, her husband and me and my husband. We knew each other socially. You know, and she hurried. In fact, when that night, Mr. Giancarlo before work told me, you know, go home and talk it over with my husband to see if I could go. And she said, well, Vi, please, please, please. I said, well, I don't know if I can do this. She said, let me tell you something. She says, when you go shopping, what you buy? Well, I said, I buy all my clothes and all of that. No. What you looking for? She said. I said, well, something I like and something that fits, and, you know, I won't say I'm vain, but I like to look nice, you know. She says, then that's all you need.
So you think that they liked your style? Is that why they picked you, maybe?
I have no idea. I never found out. I never asked. I have no idea. I can't answer that. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay. All right, let me ask you a couple more background questions. But that's so exciting because I originally went to school to be a buyer.
Really?
For retail stores. And that's so funny that we got paired up. That's cool. Okay. Where did you go to school? Grammar school, high school, and any technical
Here
school?
in Rain?
So you went to Rain Elementary and Rain High?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you involved in any sports, music, drama, or extracurricular activities?
No, I tell you what, I worked 5 days a week, 5.5, because you get a half a day off, you know, at first. Towards the end, we got a whole day, but at first. And no, I mean...
When did you start working?
Oh...
Were you still in high school?
I had just got out of high school. I started working, well, the cleaners was where I worked first, and then I went to Mervyn's from there. And I must have been about 18 or 19 years old.
Okay. So were you involved after high school? Were you involved in any civic activities or organizations or
No,
church?
honey, because I'm the one, I could have, but I didn't, and I didn't have any children. However, I helped my sister. She had 6. I helped her with the children. But I worked, and I kept my house up, I kept my yard up, and did my own washing, own ironing. So I didn't have time, you know, to... They tried to get me, and I tried, you know, and I said, you know something, I have to take a lot of things from, and I don't mean this in an ugly way, from people where I worked. And I said, you know what, for a fun thing, no.
Yeah.
But I had a couple of friends that was in everything. In fact, I would help them, you know, and I was always invited. But I said, I just don't want to. My obligation was to my work and to my husband, and that's the main thing.
Okay.
But I enjoyed working because I enjoyed visiting. I felt I was visiting with my customer.
Yeah.
They were not customers, they were friends.
Ah, cool. So it was more kind of like socializing.
That's what I call my socializing is